the Sixers suck. And last night, Joel Embiid assaulted the reporter that wrote the article about him, mentioning his brother and his son. We're going to talk about what the guy said in the article, why Joel Embiid confronted him. We're going to get all the different details of what happened. And now the same guy that wrote the article that got him assaulted by Joel Embiid in the locker room has put out another article. And we're going to look at that and see what this loser has to say for himself. And Jared McCain is better than Kyle Lowry, and we're going to talk about that too. Coming right up. RUNITBACK Nation, what is good? Why not get this out before the Eagles game at 4:05? Why not? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Okay, give me 1,000 likes on this video, and subscribe to the channel. We're at We're almost at 25,000 subscribers. We're at 24,703. Help me get to 25,000 by hitting that little subscribe button. If you think Joel Embiid was not wrong in this situation, hit the like button for me one time. Let's get down to business. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new catchphrase. When Shams was on TV, we got this nugget from the ESPN reporter, and it's just perfect. Listen to it.
Things are not well in Philadelphia. Things are not well in Philadelphia. Things are not well in Philadelphia. Things are not well in Philadelphia.
Things are not well in Philadelphia. When talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. So let's get into what happened, okay? 76ers Joel Embiid got in an altercation with a columnist following tonight's game in Philadelphia. Embiid took issue with a recent column that referenced his late brother and son, and Embiid shoved the columnist no punch. Keith Pompey originally reported that Joel Embiid punched a reporter in the locker room and then he deleted the tweet. Keith Pompey also works for the Inquirer, who published the article talking about Joel Embiid's son and his late brother, which got the reporter assaulted. So don't forget that Marcus Hayes, who wrote the article, and Keith Pompey both work for the Inquirer, okay? Here's what the article said. If you haven't seen it, I've talked about it already, but I'm glad to talk about it again because it's ridiculous. Here's what he wrote that was published in this article. Joel Embiid consistently points to the birth of his son Arthur as the major inflection point in his basketball career. He often says that he wants to be great to leave a legacy for the boy named after his little brother who tragically died in an automobile accident when Embiid was in his first year as a 76er. Well, in order to be great at your job, you first have to show up for work. That is an unbelievable order and collection of words that were typed with a keyboard, sent to an editor, approved for publication, and published to the public. That is absolutely ridiculous that the guy decided to write that he typed it out, and that the Philadelphia Inquirer okayed this. What are we doing here? So Joel Embiid had already said, in the interview a couple of days ago that I've done too much for this city to be treated like this. That article was total bullshit. But we did not know that Joel Embiid was plotting to get his motherfucking lick back. And he did. And he stood on business. This is called standing on business. That's what it's called. So right after it happened, Keith Pompey tweeted, "Oh boy, people will remember the Sixers season for all the wrong reasons. The team just dropped to 1-4 and Joel Embiid assaulted a reporter in the locker room." First reply, "Oh, please be Marcus Hayes." It was Marcus Hayes. And Keith replied to this and said he punched him and then he deleted the tweet. Okay. Here's what Joel Embiid said to Marcus Hayes. "The next time you bring up my dead brother and my son again, you are going to see what I'm going to do to you, and I'm going to have to live with the consequences." That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call standing on business. Because there's a point in time, there's a situation where you cross the line, and now me, Joel Embiid, as a 7-foot NBA player who's strong enough to throw Marcus Hayes through a fucking window, is forgetting all of the rules. Everything's out the window. You mentioned my family. You mentioned a dead family member. You mentioned something that personal. Everything's out the window. All the rules are off, bro. I will fuck you up on sight, is what Joel Embiid's saying. I don't know how anybody can disagree with what Joel Embiid did in this situation. And Marcus Hayes is real life, bro. You know what I mean? I think reporters need to understand this. These are real people. You're talking about real situations. You can't just type something like that, put it out, and then walk back in the locker room in front of Joel Embiid like it's not a real thing that you said. So Marcus Hayes got hit with a dose of reality. And bro, you're pissing off a very large man. I don't think you want to do that. Anyway, the Philadelphia Inquirer just a couple minutes ago at 12:17 put out another article that said, claiming Joel Embiid strikes and shoves Inquirer columnist Marcus Hayes during locker room altercation. So Keith says he punched him. Then he deletes the tweet. Shams claims he did not punch him. He shoved him. And now the Philadelphia Inquirer, much like a police department investigating themselves, is making up a story about what happened to their reporter to try to get Joel Embiid in more trouble. I don't understand. All right, listen. This form of media, the Philadelphia Inquirer, is dead. It's a newspaper. These are old school forms of media that are trying to transition into the new. Most of the guys are trying to jump on podcasts, and it's the most boring shit you've ever heard because they're old columnists. They're not podcasters. They don't know how to transition into the new era of media. They're completely falling off. They're dying. It's dying. My son doesn't know what a newspaper is. Podcasting and YouTube is the new media, and these guys are falling behind, and they're desperate for clicks and attention, and that's all it is. Philadelphia Inquirer, it's time to hang it up. It's over. Your run is over. Your form of media is dead. Retire. Retire the whole fucking thing. Also, the whole Sixers reporters and the fan base, I've never seen a form of media that I've never seen a form of media that relies on fans to read articles to get ad revenue, but is also absolutely hated by everyone. I don't understand the business model at all. When it comes to these local media outlets, nobody likes these guys. All these guys that work for Philadelphia Inquirer and write these articles, nobody likes them. A.J. Brown had problems with Marcus Hayes. Every reply to all of these tweets, Elliott Shore-Parks, the entire WIP radio station, Philadelphia Inquirer, Keith Pompey, every reply to what these people say on the internet is negative. Nobody likes any of them. But they are the media. It doesn't make any sense. And it's over. Let it go. So here is Shams' official report about the NBA investigating the situation.
Right after the game tonight.
Oh.
So from what I'm told, essentially right after the game tonight in Philadelphia, the Grizzlies beat the 76ers, as we just saw right there. And Joel Embiid, and a columnist who recently wrote a column on Joel Embiid and referenced his late brother and his son, they got into a verbal back and forth. They had an emotional moment in that locker room, and it turned into a physical altercation. From what I'm told, Joel Embiid shoved that columnist, and now sources tell me, and a league spokesperson tells me, that the NBA has commenced an investigation into the situation. They're aware of the reports, and they are starting an investigation into Joel Embiid shoving a columnist and getting into a physical altercation with a columnist in the locker room. I'm told that there was a lot of yelling, and then security, other members of the team got involved in that situation to break it up. But Joel Embiid got into a physical altercation, shoving a columnist in the postgame locker room tonight.
Anyway, I want to go to off of that topic. That's all the stuff on the Joel Embiid, Marcus Hayes thing. Give me all your thoughts on that. I just want to talk to you about Jared McCain right now and the Sixers rotation and what I think. Because Jared McCain is better than Kyle Lowry right now. And we're dealing with a Nick Nurse, Kyle Lowry obsession still. And I could go through clips and all this stuff, but it's a Sunday. You can just look at the stats alone. Kyle Lowry last night, 21 minutes, gave you 10 points, only got 4 shots up. You need offense on the floor. Without Joel Embiid, without Paul George, you need offense on the floor. Like I've been saying, the only player on this roster outside of Tyrese Maxey who can make something happen off the dribble is Jared McCain. I don't care that he's a rookie. It's time to give him the starting point guard minutes. It's time. In 17 minutes last night, Jared McCain gave you 19 points. 50% from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. His three-point shooting is going to come up. He looks poised. He looks experienced. He looks under control. He does not look like a rookie out there. He's strong, low center of gravity. He's a better defender than Kyle Lowry at this point. Kyle Lowry can't defend you and me at this point because he's fat and short. It's time to give Jared McCain the point guard minutes. Nick Nurse, you old stubborn son of a bitch. That's all I got, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.